Well, welcome everyone. We are thrilled that you've decided to join us tonight for our Bay Area Case Studies virtual college fair. This is a webinar format, so of course your camera and your microphone are off, so we can't see you, nor can we hear you, but I know our colleges and universities would love to hear from you. The best way you can do that is by using the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. You may ask those questions of any of our presenters at any time. So go ahead and type those questions in as you have them. This is just one of 3 sessions tonight. So once you've gone through this part, this Explore session, there will be 2 more sessions where you can learn about other colleges and universities. We would love to have you do that, and you can sign up for those sessions at the same website that you signed up for this program. But if you want to go back after tonight, or even, maybe multitask and watch while we're watching this, the recordings of all of our sessions are available. You can find those at strivescan.com/BACS. So I know you're probably all very excited to find out who you're going to hear from tonight. And so I will share that information right now. Unfortunately, the presenter from Williams College could not be with us tonight. So we will be hearing from Davidson College, Loyola University, Chicago, Washington University in St. Louis, American University, and Hobart and William Smith College. So at this time, I would like our representative from Davidson College to kick us off.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening, or I guess, yeah, it's early evening there in California. Welcome. My name is Lee Hoffman. I'm an Associate Dean of Admission here at Davidson College in Davidson, North Carolina. So I'll start off with some quick fast facts, since I know this is your Explore session. And then I'm going to switch gears and really focus on talking about the type of student, the type of experience that Davidson is. And hopefully, if anything piques your interest, you will kind of dive deeper and find out more about specific academic programs and stats and all those types of things. But kind of some quick fast facts, lay of the land. Davidson is a small liberal arts institution. By small, just under 2,000 students, located about 20 miles north of Charlotte, North Carolina. So Davidson is in Davidson, North Carolina. It is your quintessential little college town. You can see in the picture behind me, red brick sidewalks, big open fields, students out playing Frisbee, local coffee shops, bookshops, restaurants. We just got an announcement today that our favorite local restaurant in town that has this very famous milk bread has now created a donut shop that is opening very soon. So students are very excited about things like that. It's that type of town, right? It is very much that homey college town feel, with the benefit of being 30 minutes away from your big city amenities, your airport, job shadowing, internships, all of those things. Charlotte is the biggest city in North Carolina. So for those of you not familiar with the East Coast, we are about 3.5 hours in from the beach and an hour and a half in from the mountains. So if you like to get outside, explore, we have all of those things. But more about the type of place that Davidson is. So I mentioned liberal arts. We really take that to mean, we care a lot less about what students are specifically going to major in. We do care that they're going to find something that they care about, and we're going to help them take that and run with it. But we care more about developing students to be lifelong learners, to think creatively, to write well, to argue point respectfully. And we do that with really fantastic, dedicated professors, dedicated advising, and we attract students that really want to be engaged students and part of that community. So if you are a student that you're sitting in class and your wheels are turning and you want to keep having those conversations outside of class or have coffee with professor, it sounds good to be a part of a place where learning doesn't happen just within the constraints of a classroom. This is a place where you will find that. And also open to those relationships with professors that, as I mentioned, your official advisors, but your unofficial advisors are going to help encourage you along the way, that are going to expose you to things you've never even thought about or heard about, that are going to serve you well going forward academically, personally. I think that's a really cool piece too, as our students all talk about not only their academic growth while they're here, but that personal growth. They feel like they leave this place a better person than when they started. We attract students that really lead with a sense of integrity. Davidson has a really robust honor code. A lot of places have honor codes, Davidson takes it to another level. So even pre-COVID and students, being kind of siloed off, taking courses by themselves, our students have been taking exams and finals on their own time for years and years and years. So there's a sense of trust amongst professors and students. It's a student-run honor council. It's the type of place you can leave your things laying around and it's going to be just fine. So it's a really powerful part of the Davidson community that really binds our students together. Our students also look outside themselves, say, how can I help? What can I do? Service is a huge piece of the Davidson experience, and also changing Davidson for the better. I've been in this place for 6 years, and Davidson has changed both physically and the access and organizations on campus because students have pushed back and said, hey, we need this. This isn't as good as it should be. This isn't serving this population. And our faculty and our staff say, okay, I hear you. Our president has a meal with at least a student at some point in time while they're at Davidson, all seniors, but she's the kind of person that you could talk to while you're walking across campus. She lives on campus and she gets to know students, and she's a great listener and a great advocate. And that's a really powerful thing about small liberal arts, but a place where you can really create change. A couple other highlights, we have Division I athletics, so 25% of our students are varsity athletes. We get really excited about that. We just won our first conference championship in football for the first time in over 50 years this past weekend, which is really exciting. We are not a football school. We're most well known for basketball here, but also our other sports. It's the coolest part about it is with the 25% of students being athletes, people really get to cheer on their peers because there are roommates, your classmates, there's people doing that. Music, theater, arts, all of those things are available to students as well too. Because we only have 2,000 students, to have an orchestra and 4 a cappella groups and an art program and all of those things, we typically find students are involved in a lot of different things across campus. And we also check all the boxes off for things like study abroad, internships, research. We're all undergraduate, so our students are doing research with professors. They're not competing with graduate students to do those things. So I think I'm getting close to into my last minute here, but students who are engaged learners, want to be part of the community, want to really serve the world and think about things in a greater lens than just themselves, would be surrounded by like-minded people here at Davidson. So come check us out. I will put a link to our Davidson Explore page that has some of our live guided tours. Definitely come check that out. And the last piece that I'll mention is we are one of the few schools in the country that's able to meet 100% of calculated need with a 10-hour week work study. And the rest is fulfilled with grants and scholarships. We don't package any loans on Davidson or on as part of our financial aid. And we're also need blind. So we don't take into account how much a family or a student can pay when we're making any decisions. So that's a pretty powerful thing when we are shaping our community. So I'll pop that all in the chat. And thank you very much. And I see a comment coming in. Steph Curry went to Davidson. I forget I'm talking to Bay Area. Yes, he is technically not a graduate, but he did attend Davidson.
Thanks, Leah. Next, we'll hear from Loyola University, Chicago.
Hello, good evening. My name is Emily and I'm a regional representative, meaning I reside here close to you. I'm in the Bay Area. And that's because I work with students that come from Western states. So in normal times, I would be doing this in person and ideally meeting you in one-on-ones in person. But in these beautiful times, we do it all this way. So tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we have to offer at Loyola Chicago. Here's a snapshot of kind of our numbers, who we are by our numbers. We're a solid mid-sized university, just over 12,000 undergraduate students. We are a Jesuit university, so I could talk for many more minutes, more than 6 minutes, about what that means being a Jesuit university, but there's just 2 takeaways I'm gonna give you tonight on being a Jesuit university. Number 1, we care about the whole individual. So we see a student, a person, as having a mind, body, and spirit, and all 3 of those parts need to be taken care of in order for the student to be healthy. So we obviously place a lot of emphasis on academics, but you're also going to see a lot put into what happens outside of the classroom, because we feel that's just as important as the academic component. Number 2, we believe in social justice. We believe in helping our students be a good part of their community, and we believe that starts when they're college students at Loyola. So we have lots of opportunities for students to get involved, fellowships, volunteer opportunities, lots of infrastructure for students to do things in the community. And because of that, we attract students that are interested in that. That is our community. So if you like to be surrounded by people that have those interests of giving back to their community and doing something good, that's definitely what you find here at Loyola Chicago. We are a Catholic university, so you're going to find a lot of support for our Catholic students, but we have many, many students who come from other faith backgrounds or non-faith backgrounds. One of the cool spaces on our campus is called the Hall of Religions, and we have one of the largest student-run mosques in Illinois. We have a Punjab prayer center, a kosher kitchen up there, and just a multi-denominational space for students from a variety of religious backgrounds where they can gather together and worship. But if you come from a non-faith background, you will feel just as welcomed on our campus. That's really what our community is. All students, regardless of your background, you will be welcomed on the campus and you'll find your community. We're a residential campus, so you live on campus your first 2 years, and we do have housing for upperclassmen if you want to stay on campus. It's just your preference if you want to stay or not. All 50 states are represented on our campus. Actually, California is our second represented state after Illinois. So you will likely have somebody on your floor who's coming from California. We have a very interesting campus structure in Chicago because we don't only have one campus, we have two campuses in the heart of Chicago. The first one, you can see the pictures in the top there on the screen. That's our Lakeshore campus, and as the name implies, it is on the shores of Lake Michigan. So it's a beautiful setting. It feels very much like a traditional university campus. Lots of green spaces, open quads. And this is really where the majority of our campus life takes place. Students spend a lot of their time here. It's where our sporting events take place. We are Division I. It's where our Gentile arena, our basketball games take place here. And our students, for the most part, live here. The second campus is a very urban campus. 6 high-rise buildings all spread out all over between 3 city blocks in downtown Chicago, right off the Miracle Mile. So our students love that they have those 2 settings in such an awesome city. And Chicago really is a great city to be a college student in. What I'll say about Chicago, it's about the same size as New York, but it has a lot fewer people. And I love that about it because it has all the amenities, everything that a big city has to offer, but it also offers beautiful green spaces and lots of space for nature, lots of nature as well. And you can see that reflected there in Lake Michigan. That's right in front of us, of our Lakeshore campus. These are the 8 colleges that we offer undergraduate programs in. I want to highlight our School for Environmental Sustainability. They are leading our efforts in being a green campus, and we're very proud that we've been ranked in the top 50 greenest campuses by Sierra Club consistently. One of the cool things that the School for Environmental Sustainability does, they create biodiesel fuel, and they do that from the runoff from our 3 cafeterias. They take the grease that they collect from our cafeterias, turn that into biodiesel fuel that powers a shuttle that takes students back and forth between our 2 campuses. And then the byproduct of that fuel is converted into the soap that you find in all of our bathrooms. So I think it's pretty unique. Students at Loyola Chicago feel good about eating French fries. They're powering buses, keeping our hands clean. Despite being a pretty large university, we do offer very small class sizes and very individualized attention. Class sizes average 26 students. So our largest classes are about 70 to 80 students. And that's going to be kind of your Psych 101 classes. Very, very diverse offering of campus activities and clubs and intramural sports. So you are going to find many clubs that are of interest to you and many things that you can do outside of your class. As I mentioned, that's a very important component to your experience at Loyola Chicago, what you do outside of the class. I am coming up on my 6 minutes here, but just want to remind you of important dates. Our application becomes available August 1st, and the important date for you to remember is get everything in by December 1st. That's our priority deadline. Most students do get financial aid who apply within those dates. I will throw my contact contact information into the chat box there, so you can reach out to me. Feel free to text me now. I had students last night immediately start texting me questions, but you can also throw them into the Q&A box. I'll hand it back to our facilitator. Thanks.
Thank you, Emily. And now Ellie from Washington University in St. Louis.
Awesome. Thanks, Julie. Well, again, my name is Ellie. I am admissions officer at WashU, also an alum. So I actually graduated from the university in 2016 with a major in political science and minors in legal studies and creative writing. And I actually know exactly where you guys are right now because I grew up in the Bay Area and I went to the Bay Area case studies. So I know the type of environment that you are applying from. But today I'm going to share with you guys the 3 most important things to remember about WashU. So if you remember nothing else, remember these 3 things, and I will have some pretty pictures to share as I do it. So the number 1 most important thing to remember about WashU is that we have really flexible academics and a huge focus on interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary study. So as you can see here, the university is split into 5 undergraduate divisions that are all freshman entry. So students go directly into one of the 5. The largest is the College of Arts and Sciences, which is where you find the natural sciences, social sciences, and the humanities. And no matter which division students are in at the university, they do take classes in the College of Arts and Sciences. Second largest is the McKelvey School of Engineering. This is where you find all of our majors that end in the word engineering, as well as computer science. Medium-sized school is the Olin Business School. So it's a freshman entry business program with majors like marketing and finance and accounting. They also have some pretty cool minors in things like business of sports, business of entertainment, social impact. And their 2 smallest divisions, which are housed under the Sam Fox School of Design and Visual Arts, are the College of Art and the College of Architecture. But I say flexible because even though we have these 5 divisions, and there are over 90 majors, minors, and programs that are spread across them, and about 1,500 courses that we offer each year, all those classes are open to all of our students, no matter which division they call their home. So we have biomedical engineers who take art classes, or an architecture major who's getting a minor in French, or an anthropology major who's getting a second major in finance. So we like to say it doesn't have to make sense to anybody but you what you want to study. And our students definitely do take that to heart. So about 80% will pursue more than just one major. And that can be like double majoring, it could be a major and a minor, 2 majors and a minor, 1 major and 2 minors. We have a rule of 3, so students can't like quadruple major or do something crazy. But if having multiple interests sounds like you definitely would not be alone at WashU, and it's a very supported experience. And we have a number of programs that kind of in and of themselves are very interdisciplinary. So take, for example, our philosophy, neuroscience, psychology major, or PNP. That's 1 major at WashU. And it was actually started by a student who wanted to look at the mind, body, brain connection. What is consciousness? How do we study behavior? And so she actually created her own major, which is something you can do through our specialized study program. And other people looked around and said, wait, that's awesome. I want to do that too. And now PNP is actually one of the most popular majors in the College of Arts and Sciences. So we find that when we give students the ability to explore, they take it and they totally run with it. So that academic flexibility piece is definitely the number 1 most important thing to remember about WashU. Number 2 is that we have a really friendly and collaborative campus environment, both inside and outside the classroom. So inside the classroom, it means that you're not competing against your fellow classmates. It's not the type of environment where in order for one student to do well, other students have to do poorly. Instead, the way to succeed is to lean on everybody else. And that is something that is reinforced from the very beginning at WashU. And then outside the classroom, it means that no matter what it is that you do or that you're involved in, you have people that are going to be there to cheer you on. So we have over 400 student groups on campus, everything from religious organizations, political organizations, academic clubs, athletic clubs, community service and civic engagement. Student government is always very big on campus. Like butter churning, beekeeping, we have it all. And if something isn't already at WashU, it's very easy to start it at WashU. So the list of clubs that we have is always growing. But like I said, the best part is just people that are there supporting you. Like when folks ask me what's 1 word to describe WashU students, it's really hard because everybody's incredibly different. But all of our students are very passionate, both inside and outside the classroom. But beyond that, they're very supportive of other people's passions. And that piece is really key when you're talking about a community. The number 3 most important thing to remember is St. Louis. It is in our name. It's something that we are incredibly proud of. Fun fact, when I was in high school, there's no way I could have pointed out St. Louis on a map, or honestly Missouri, if I'm being real. Like the middle of the country, it was very foreign to me. And I decided to go to WashU because I loved this school, but I'm still here 5 years after graduating because I love this city. It's an incredible place, and I think a lot of people have no idea. It's this perfect size city where it's big enough to have everything you want in a nice big city. So it has professional sports teams and cultural attractions and lots of places to go and things to do. But it's small enough to still feel very community oriented, very easy to navigate. We actually make it even easier to navigate by giving each student a free Metro pass. So you get to ride all the St. Louis public transportation completely for free. I cannot emphasize enough how amazing that is. I feel like we are all familiar with the fact that public transportation in the Bay Area, it's super expensive and it doesn't go everywhere. So being able to have great free access to public transit is one of the most awesome parts about being in St. Louis and being at WashU. The best part about St. Louis, you don't have to get on the Metro to go to though, and it's Forest Park, huge municipal park just right out front of our campus. We call it our front yard. It has a free art museum, a free history museum, a free science center, and a free zoo. So lots of things to do just within steps of campus, but anything you want to find in St. Louis, you can, and it's a pretty vibrant, amazing city. So those are the 3 most important things. Super quickly here, you can see some of our deadlines. So we are a QuestBridge National College Match Partner School. We also have early decision and regular decision, as well as what we look at in the application. I want to highlight that we are test optional through next year, at least. So students that are current juniors, you will have the option of whether or not to submit testing. I'm happy to answer any additional questions in the Q&A, but thank you very much. And I'm going to pass it back off to the facilitator.
Thank you so much. Our next presenter is from American University.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christina Casleon. I'm an Assistant Director of Admission at American University in Washington, D.C. So American University is located in the most northwest of Washington, D.C. We're right below the Bethesda, Maryland area. So it puts us about 4 miles from the kind of downtown DC, National Mall, White House, kind of everything you think of when someone says DC. And even though we are not in the heart of downtown DC, we're in a more suburban and residential part of the district. Something really unique about being an AU student is that we give all of our students a U Pass, which is an unlimited pass to use on DC's public transportation system, inclusive of all the metro trains and the public bus system. So it's very easy for AU students to commute throughout DC, whether you're going to your internship, you want to go to one of the Smithsonian museums, go to a concert, hang out on the National Mall with friends. You have access to every part of DC, parts of Northern Virginia, parts of Maryland, and that's completely free, built into your tuition and fees. We're currently the only school in DC to offer that, so that's a pretty cool perk of being an AU student. So AU is a mid-sized institution. We have about 8,500 undergraduates on campus and about 5,700 graduate and law students. I like to highlight that we have more undergraduates on campus because undergraduates are the primary focus of our campus and teaching community. So for students who are eager to work with their faculty members, perhaps a teaching assistant or a research assistant, those opportunities are readily available because our faculty members are primarily here to teach undergraduate students, and you're not necessarily competing with master's or doctoral level students. So I always like to highlight that distinction and talk about how important it is and how easily accessible our professors are, given that our undergraduates make up the majority of our campus community. Your average class at AU is about 23 students, and the student to faculty ratio is 11:1. We're very intentional about making sure our classes are more seminar and discussion based rather than large lecture classes. You'll have 2 classes in your first year that are capped at 19 students or fewer. We're not just sending you into a year of large lecture halls. We want to make sure that students can connect with both their peers and their faculty members. And about 32% of our students identify as a student of color, and we represent all 50 states and 122 countries. A fun fact is that California is the 5th most represented state from where applicants come from. So even though we are quite literally on the other side of the country, there are plenty of other students who come from California. We have 6 undergraduate schools at AU. I obviously don't have time to go into all of them, but a couple things I want to talk about here. And the first is our level of academic flexibility. So first off, when students apply to AU, you are simply applying to AU as a whole. You are not applying into any of our colleges or particular majors. And that gives students a lot of flexibility in choosing their major and taking classes from multiple disciplines. So you're allowed to take classes from any of these 6 undergraduate schools. You're allowed to double major across schools. You can have minors across schools. We really don't limit the types of courses that students take, and we not only allow it, but we strongly encourage it. So there's a lot of flexibility in the courses that students are able to take. We also have 2 pre-professional advising programs. We have a pre-law and a pre-med advising system for students interested in going on to law school or med school. These are open to all AU students, both undergraduates and alum. And you would basically get another academic advisor to kind of guide you through the process of applying to those types of programs. Beyond the classroom, internships are a huge component of the AU experience. Almost all of our undergraduates, you'll see 91% complete an internship before they graduate. And that's not because internships are required, it's because many students just come to AU and DC because they crave that professional experience at the undergraduate level. So we've dedicated a lot of resources to helping students find and apply for internships, mainly through our Career Center. We host a job and internship fair every semester where we bring recruiters to campus to recruit AU students for different internships in the DC area. Our Career Center can help you with your resume, your cover letter, do a mock interview, pretty much anything you need to be a more competitive applicant to these job and internships. Our Career Center can help you. And also many of our professors work in the DC area as well as teaching on campus. So professors are oftentimes great resources for students to learn about different jobs and internships in DC. Study abroad is also very popular among our students. 70% of AU students go abroad before they graduate. We have 150 total program offerings across 50 different countries. If you go abroad during the fall or spring semesters, your tuition and fees will stay the same. If you receive any type of scholarships or financial aid, that money applies in your semester abroad. And ultimately, you're taking classes that are applicable to your degrees. So studying abroad is extremely flexible and accessible to all of our undergraduate students. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about our admissions process, but we do offer 3 application deadlines: early decision 1, early decision 2, and regular decision. AU has been a test optional school for well over 10 years now, and we will continue to do so in future admission cycles. So for a very long time, we have not required students to submit SAT or ACT scores to be considered to the institution. AU also meets 100% of demonstrated need. We are need aware. We want to make sure we're able to fund the students that we admit. But for those students that we do admit to the university, we will meet 100% of your demonstrated need. And we have a handful of special academic programs. These are the only programs that require a separate application. Other than that, you're simply applying to AU as a whole. So if you are interested in any of these, are the only ones that require a separate application. And I will put the contact information in the chat. I will put AU's contact information, my personal email, since I work with students in Northern California. Please feel free to reach out to me and connect with us virtually, and I will pass it back to our facilitator.
Thanks so much, Christina. And now we'll hear from Hobart and William Smith College.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alan Painter. I am the Director of Admissions here at Hobart and William Smith. Just trying to get my screen all squared away here. We are a small school located in the beautiful Finger Lakes region of New York State. We're actually sitting right at the top of Lake Seneca, which is the largest of the Finger Lakes. So there's my extent of my quick fun facts of the location. But hopefully, if you decide to come this way and visit, I can assure you will absolutely love the outside, the outdoor nature, the water, and actually our office sits and overlooks the lake. It's pretty amazing. So let's talk about a couple of quick facts about the school. We have about 2,100-ish students here. Average class size is about 16 students. Student faculty ratio is 10 to 1. As you can see, 40 plus states are represented. And we do have a decent diversity. Last year's incoming class, 30% domestic students of color. And we do meet a great deal of need, and quite just shy of 100% of student need, but doing a fantastic job. Want to talk, as you first hear about us, you're hearing about you're hearing actually two names here, Hobart and William Smith colleges. You'll hear us say the colleges, you'll hear us say HWS, and we are all of those things, but we're certainly two schools with two distinct histories. Hobart College for Men, founded in 1822, and William Smith Colleges for Women, founded in 1908. But we do have a history that even goes back further to about 1797 as Geneva Academy, or Geneva Medical School, where the first female doctor, Elizabeth Blackwell, graduated from, and that's something that is so much a part of us that we just could not go any further without really talking about that history. But the unique tradition of the Corner Heritage is the shared curriculum, shared resources, faculty, but you do have the opportunity to graduate with, as a male, with your Hobart College degree, or you can choose Hobart and William Smith, and likewise for William Smith, you can have a William Smith college degree, or a Hobart and William Smith college degree. One thing I like to point out would be the curriculum. You'll see schools that have the core curriculum. You'll see an open curriculum. We have what's called the 8 goals, and during your time here, we will make sure our students reach these 8 goals, thus giving you a lot of academic freedom across the board. We have 46 majors and 68 minors here. A great deal of students do take advantage of double majoring, but we also have these specialized areas of study, like you would have in many places, pre-business, which is a partnership with the University of Rochester. We offer a 3+3 joint program with Cornell University. And we also have a 3+2 cooperative with Columbia and Dartmouth for engineering. We also will be adding a master's, or a 4+1 master's degree in management this fall. So lots of opportunity. The other thing I'd like to point out would be the Bozzuto Center for Entrepreneurship. We have a lot of centers that really supplement your experience here in leadership and environmental sustainability, but the Bozzuto Center, which is one I really enjoy, I actually live right around the corner from the center, puts on an annual competition, kind of resembles Shark Tank, but we call it the pitch. And our students, at the end of that, there will be one student who will receive a grant for $10,000 to fund their business idea. So pretty amazing experience. In the community, you'll see that we are a big study abroad school. I'm switching screens here, sorry. We are a big study abroad school. Roughly about 65% of our students do study abroad, semester, year, 2 locations. Are great. A bit of our students do take advantage of going across seas multiple times. Our sports teams, we have 23 sports teams competing in NCAA Division III, with the exception of men's lacrosse. Men's lacrosse is a Division I program. We also offer sailing, rowing, and squash, which are not necessarily in a division, but do stretch across all divisions in terms of their competition. Lastly, I'll talk about will be the internships. Everyone here is going to be guaranteed an internship. In fact, if you complete our Pathways program, which is something that every student takes advantage of, the Pathways program from your first year, when you get here, the assess, the explore, experience, and connect, you'll be guaranteed a paid internship. So our students really do take advantage of meeting alumni across the country and working with our career services office from the time they get here and moving on. So again, guaranteed internships. That's our motto. You're thinking about your future, and so are we. I'm going to close out here with my contact information. Again, Director of Admissions here. Feel free to reach out via email. I also put it in the chat. You can also text me, and of course, you'll find me pretty active on a lot of social media networks as well. So I will try to answer any questions as they arise. And I'll pass it back to my good friend, Julie.
Well, thank you, my good friend, Alan. And I am thrilled to say that our rep from Williams College is with us. And so she is going to finish us off tonight. So Solgi, if you'd like to join us.
Excellent. Let's see. Let me just share my screen, and Here we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Solgi Lim. I'm the Director of Admission at Williams College, and I'm so thrilled to be with you. And I'm going to try to talk very fast and focus really on the things that I hope will help you set Williams apart from so many other terrific colleges that you'll learn about tonight. So super quickly, Williams is a liberal arts college. We're located in the northwestern corner of Massachusetts. We're about 3 hours from New York City, 3 hours from Boston driving distance. And you can get a little bit of a sense of our community here. The most important thing maybe to take away from this section is just that we're in this naturally beautiful, bucolic area surrounded by mountains in every direction. It's a place where there are 4 seasons and we're students who love to be outdoors and really enjoy the beauty of our surroundings. Can truly take advantage of a number of opportunities to do so on campus as well as off campus. Let's see, we are really lucky to boast tremendous resources that allow us to keep classes really small, small student to professor ratio, excuse me, among many schools throughout the country. Small classes, if you're a student who really thrives in discussion-based classes, if you're someone who wants to be in a place where professors know your name and they're really invested in getting to know you both as a student as well as a person, and all of your classes are taught by professors and not graduate students, we're among the schools that I think you should look at really closely. A couple of other things to note, many of our students have more than one academic interest, and our curriculum is designed in a way that allows you to develop breadth in your major, depth in your major, but also breadth throughout the curriculum. So it's a place where you'll be encouraged to explore interests outside of your major. Maybe you'll discover an interest that you didn't know you had in high school. And so it's very common, almost half of our students will double major. A couple of things about the curriculum that I'm going to highlight in the next few slides. One is that we have a really neat short winter term in between the fall and spring terms. We call it winter study. It's a 3-week term when you take just one class. So if you imagine everything that you love about school and how engaged you are during the school year, and then everything you love about vacation, all the free time, just being able to have more time in your day than usual, to hang out with friends, to read for pleasure, to take long naps during the middle of the day. Winter study is the perfect marriage of having that intellectual engagement, taking a class that's really different and unusual from what you typically would, but also having a lot of extra time to socialize and to really develop deeper bonds with your friends who are also all on campus during this time. One other optional but really exciting thing offered in our curriculum is the Williams tutorial. So tutorials are classes in which 2 students and 1 professor come together, and the students on a weekly basis will alternate the role of preparing independent work and presenting it to their partner, and taking the role of critiquing their partner's work. It's a back and forth dynamic. We talked earlier about discussion-based classes and small classes offered at Williams. Tutorials bring that, I think, to the next level. I'm going to allow you to go really deeply into the subject matter, to really be challenged in how you think, how you write, how you articulate your thoughts, because it is this sort of one-on-one conversation you're having with a partner, supported by the professor who's there as a resource, who helps design the curriculum for the tutorial, but really kind of gives the freedom to the 2 students to take the discussion, to take the papers, or to take the assignments in any direction that they want. They originate from Oxford University, so we borrowed this idea of the tiny class from our colleagues at Exeter College at Oxford University. But it's something that's been optional and offered for many years, and many students take advantage of it and will often repeat the tutorial experience in a different subject area after trying it for the first time. Research is available at every college or university. I think what is a little bit different at Williams is just the scale of opportunity, the scope of opportunity, and the number of opportunities that are available for our students. Williams is among the liberal arts colleges that receives the largest number of NSF grants for faculty. And so for that reason in the sciences, and because there are tremendous institutional resources committed to it, there are numerous opportunities to do research with faculty. If you're more interested in humanities and social sciences research, there are also many opportunities available in that way as well, whether pursued independently through an independent study or through a class or working in concert with a professor. It's something that we do year round and that our faculty are tremendously excited to do with students. As you think about college, you might be wondering, how will I find community there? At Williams, we create a microcosm of the first year student body in your first year residential experience. It's called the Williams Entry. And you'll belong to a group of 40 or so first year students, 3 or 4 juniors who come together to create a community for the entire year. There are lots of fun events that entries do together. Most entries will have every week a meeting where you'll come together to share highs and lows, to connect over snacks. And it's just a nice way to just jump right into a built-in community for you, even as you reach out to the broader community to make friends through classes, through co-curricular opportunities. The entry is there for you from the beginning and is intentionally diverse so that you'll get to know people who have many different interests and backgrounds from you right from the start. Just a couple of things about it. Oh,
I'm sorry, we're at time and I want to be mindful of everybody here because I'd love everybody to come back on. If you've got any contact information you want to share with the students, go ahead and put that in the chat and they can see that. So at this point, if everybody wants to turn their cameras and their microphones back on, I would love to do one quick round robin question to finish us off. And the question I would love to ask all of you to address is if you could give one piece of advice to these students as they start this process, what would that piece of advice be? And we'll go in the same order which we presented. So Leah, if you want to kick us off.
Yeah, so I'm going to start off with probably the least exciting piece of advice, but maybe one of the more necessary ones. And that is, as much as this is going to drive you insane over the next year, you're going to need to check your email. Check your email often. You're going to need to read it. Your inbox is going to be exploding from colleges. So figure out whatever you need to do, whether it's unsubscribe or creating folders or rules or creating, don't create too many new email addresses. That actually throws off our systems. But just know that you're going to check it. And the reason is that's the only and best way for us to connect with you. If you don't have a complete application or are missing financial aid documents, they're really important. So check your email.
Absolutely. Emily.
My piece of advice this evening is to take advantage of people like us that are sitting in this room. I mean, this is an awesome event that you got 6 of us together, but if you've got additional questions, we're all here to help you. And, every school has built-in resources that are there to help you get to know the school. So if you're interested in a school, find those resources. So much you can do at home now, which is awesome. You actually had a huge advantage over, some previous years. We've come so far as universities in what we're providing you, in the comfort of your living room where you can do it with your mom and dad and your brother and sister and check out the school. So just use those resources.
Ellie.
Yeah, so mine is to get involved in things over the next couple of months that you're really interested and passionate about, rather than what you think will look good on your college applications. We're trying to admit you, not who you think we want to admit. So that authenticity and genuineness is something that's really important because we're really just trying to get a sense of if you're a good fit for our campus, and we can only do that if you're being authentic in your application. So that kind of passion comes through. So definitely only be getting involved in things that you really love.
Christina, what kind of advice do you have?
Sure. So when we took the poll question in the case studies group, the most common kind of concern students had was that their story wasn't extraordinary enough and they wouldn't be able to convey that to colleges. And I just want to remind everyone that don't stress about that. Most people aren't extraordinary at 16, 17, 18. And just like Ellie said, we just want to see your genuine self. It doesn't have to be the most extraordinary thing. You haven't had to start a company or, cure a disease or anything like that. We just want to get to know you as a high schooler. So please don't stress that you may not be extraordinary enough.
So true. Alan.
I'm a big guy who always says that my grandmother always said, so I'm going to share it with you guys as well. My grandmother always told me the dumbest questions are the ones that you don't ask. Do ask questions. None of them are dumb questions. Ask them of your parents. They are a part of this process too. Ask them of your counselors. Ask them of friends, whomever. Ask us, as you just heard. Ask us. We are here for you. So ask them. You are not asking any dumb questions.
And Sulgi.
Sure, yeah, so much good advice my colleagues have already shared. I guess the only thing I would add is, well, first, just super quickly, that all of us, admission officers and all of our colleagues who work with us are really aware of how so much about this past year just has been out of your control. There have been things that are really, really atypical and that have certainly affected your families, your school experiences, and of course, your admission processes. So I just wanted to say that we're aware, we know. Please don't hesitate to share more that is specific to you and your experience this past year, either in the application, in your admission application, your financial aid application. And please don't hesitate to reach out if there's any way we can work with you and help you. All of us are running admission processes that are more flexible and hopefully more holistic this year than even normal. So please don't worry. Don't worry about things you can't control. And just focus on the things that you can do. And there are a lot of those kinds of things in the admission process as well.
Outstanding. Well, thank you all of you for your presentations tonight, for your advice tonight. I just wanted to remind all of our participants that when they close out of this screen, that they will have a quick survey that pops up. So it's just about 4 questions. So take a few seconds, answer those questions, and help us make our programming better for future students. There are some additional sessions. There's actually 2 sets of additional sessions after this one. So if you'd like to hear about more colleges and universities, please sign up. And as always, recordings of all of the sessions are available at strivescan.com/BACS. So on behalf of everyone, as part of the case studies program and our friends at StriveScan, thanks for joining us and have a good night.